Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So welcome. It feels like it's been forever. It kind of does feel like that. There's been a lot of change going on over here, starting school and the many tasks that come along with, well, autumn pouring in, right? The harvest is upon us. And let me tell you, I have enough zucchini to last me until the end of time. So Virgo, welcome. You are my kindred spirits. We are a family here. I am also a solar Virgo. And, there's just something about certain signs where we really just get along with our own, solar signs or lunar signs, whatever. Virgo is one of them. Okay. When you get a bunch of Virgos together, you better watch out. You better watch out. All right, let's see. So we have the Knight of Wands, right? We have passion, that creative fire, that life-bringing energy. It is flowing. It is intense. And you know what? Being in that Knight position, it's something that you have probably, if not mastered, learned to really harness for your work, your creativity, the way you live your life. You are very much that earthen pyre that has the flame lit, right? It could also be the hearth, if that's easier. The fireplace, right? You are the center of things, and there is that fire burning within you. Not surprising. Not surprising, Virgo. All right, let's get going. So I want to thank you so much for being here with me today. It may have been your birthday. It maybe is your birthday right now. And oh my gosh, did I miss my sister's birthday yesterday? My sister is a Virgo. Is it today? Oh my gosh, I have to check. I think I missed her birthday. That is so bad. You know what, though? She missed mine too. So if you're listening, Lisa, we missed each other's birthdays, I think. So now you don't have to feel bad at all. I literally just thought of that. I feel terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for the reading. People here for the reading too. I just realized. Maybe it's today though. I'm hoping. Okay. So anyways, if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. And happy birthday. Happy belated birthday if it has come to pass. If it is today, super happy birthday to you. And if it's coming up, I hope you have a wonderful birthday as well. Happy birthday. All right, so we have two people upon each other right here. Okay, we have one standing here, holding a torch right here. Let's get up close. Here's how we would look at it. Here's the head of the person, body, feet would be down here. Arm extended, here's a torch, okay? You can see the fire and all of that. We have a very strong feeling of Shekinah, or Shekinah. I don't know how to say it. I always just say Shekinah, which is the divine presence of God, goddess, divine, the divinity. It is actually a feminine energy. Usually it's pictured as, the flame in an everlasting fire, these eternal flames that they have. I think that JFK, that is John F. Kennedy, I think he has one at his gravesite. And it's just, it's a pyre that is kept going forever and ever and ever. Now, they would have these in temples, and there would be people, priests and priestesses, that were given the work of keeping these things going day and night. And it was the representation of the feminine aspect of the divine manifest in a physical form. Okay? So it is very much to me, I think of it as, well, the divine being very active and present in your life, but also this sense of being very interconnected. There is agape, there is belovedness. You are no stranger to the divine. I would not be surprised if you spent a lot of your life doing things that are quite devotional, but you don't necessarily think of it as this way, as a devotional act. Okay, so let me give an example. Maybe you are somebody who does something like composting, right? You know, if it's a moral thing, ethical thing, if it is practical, you're making, lovely fertilizer for the gardens and things. If it's something that just kind of you grew up around people who always reuse things and would recycle. Now, this is an act of devotion, It might just be something that you say, oh, well, I'm just used to doing that, right? This is just what I do. Something like, oh, well, here, and I'm not trying to posture. This is actually because I was, I've been pretty poor, broke for most of my life, especially in my younger adult life. I would, work at restaurants and delis and coffee shops and things. And when I was closing, we had to throw away a lot of food, and you had to inventory it and throw away, whatever. I would take the stuff and I would give it to all my neighbors and, people I would see when I was walking home. If I lived in the city, so I would walk home. And this just was like a duh thing to me. There was no question. Like, why would I throw away all this food? I know I'm not supposed to. It's I might even be admitting to something I shouldn't, but this was many years ago. And these are acts of devotion. They are acts of, supporting our community, of our family, but also in the greater sense, right? Recycling, giving back to the universe, being part of the flow of things. You are moving information, data from one point to the next, all the things on all levels, right? And these kinds of acts of service and devotion come naturally to Virgos. This is just how we live. It doesn't mean that we're morally greater than anybody or like we're better people. It's just kind of, it comes naturally because we are people that like to make sure that all of our resources are being used in the best way possible. Also, we're just very tribally minded people. We're very, very sensitive to the feelings of others, to the actions of others, to the greater collective, the zeitgeist. We are very plugged into all of these things. And so I think it is our natural instinct to want to take care of people, but also to alleviate any kind of pain or struggle. And that's the big thing. We don't like to see people struggling. We know enough that we have to let them struggle a little, like our kids. You want to get in there and just do whatever, help them out. You see them toiling and it's like, oh, I'll just do it. No, you have to let them struggle. You have to let them learn. They have to figure it out just like you did, right? And that's hard for us Virgos. Now, let's look. We have the person here. Now, above them is another person right here. You can see the head, the body, even a tail, it looks like. And we have mammaries. We also have holding a snake. knowledge. Now over here, it looks like we have an apple. Yeah, an apple. Okay, so these immediately remind me of Demeter and Persephone. We are and I don't know what the actual dates are, but the Eleusinian mysteries would happen in the autumn, right? And these are, this is a festival that is one of the most famous mysteries in history, right? And it was devoted to Persephone, the daughter, right? The daughter, the queen of spring and the underworld, and her mother, Demeter, who is queen of the harvest, and also just a really like bout it mama, right? You read a lot of these like Greek and Roman stories about the gods and goddesses, and not often do you see, well, the goddesses are very like, they're not just going to sit around and watch things happen, right? But this in particular, she's not going to let her daughter. Now, Persephone, her daughter, she is kidnapped, right? And who is it? Nergal? No, Hades, I think. Nergal is the Mesopotamian version. And he takes her down to the underworld, right? Demeter is beside herself. Her daughter has been stolen, taken, right? And anyways, there's a lot of back and forth. Finally, she gets things set up so she can have her daughter come home, right, for half the year, which is spring and summer, and then she descends into the underworld during autumn and winter, okay? So we have these mysteries, and they seemed wild, let me tell you. If you read anything about these mysteries, the big takeaway is the sense of the feral goddess, the feral priestess, the feral beloved woman, right? Mother, daughter, the inner child, all of these things. And in this time, this is where that feminine rage really, really comes to a peak. But also, and let me point this out, this is the really important part. This is also a symbol, an act of sisterhood, of mother and daughterhood, of women being a strong community, of women being autonomous, and yet finding strength within one another. Okay, so to me, looking at this, we have the torch, which is revelation, the illuminating candle, the lantern of the hermit, and we have the snake, which is the knowledge, right? It has yet to be transmuted into wisdom, but who does that? Yes, the mother does that. The mother does that. Now, the snake is also a symbol of the wand, the fire, the phallus, right? That masculine energy, and we have that right here. Okay, so I do believe that you are in a time in your life where you are mastering your reactions, your passion. It's overspilling. You are fertile. You are creating. You are in your power right now. You are in your power. You are in your power. Say it with me. I am in my power. I am in my power. I am my power. I am my power. I am power. I am power. I am power. I am power. Okay? So, sisterhood, being with your mother, being with your daughter, whatever this is. And even if you are a man, or they, or whatever you identify as with, it doesn't matter. We all contain the feminine, the masculine, all of the archetypes. Okay? So, there is a real sense of being surrounded by feminine energy in this next cycle of time. This is a place where you can rest. Is it? It will be. It doesn't feel like it at first, right? It doesn't feel like it at first. You are coming out from the wilderness. That's the feeling as well. And I'm going to keep turning this and we're going to look deeper at that. But it does feel like you were returning from probably like a period of time where you were kind of in hermit mode. Okay. Now, not only is there a sense of a lot of feminine energy around you, there seems to be a sense of like frenzy as well. That you have been through a period of time where maybe you've been courting, maybe you're dating. We have the number, where are you? 672. 672. So this one looks like it says like Sutter, maybe. Sutter. Sutter, maybe, or solder. It could be that, I don't know. That's such a, like, that is not of like general, like a popular name or whatever. I don't know. Sutter. That's very specific. Okay, so I have that feeling of like coming to the end, descending down the mountain. We have a person sitting up here, look, kind of in a meditative posture. We have the rock up here. And really, to me, what it feels like, it's kind of like when, okay, so I've gotten into cycling at home. Don't boo me. I know. Nobody likes cyclists and the bikers in the city. I know. I lived in Minneapolis. I get it. But yes, anyways, I've gotten into cycling. And, you know, there comes a point where you start to hit a wall, you push through it. I'm trying to do like 15 miles a day. And I'm pretty steadily throughout the whole summer. But then there are days I will do like 30 miles or whatever. And, yeah, there's like a point where you're just like, maybe I should just stop. Maybe this is, and some days I give myself that treat. Some days I get to like 25 miles or so and I'm like, I think I'm gonna, you know, chill a little bit here. And there's that specific feeling of, you don't, let me push through this. But maybe I really don't want to. The back and forth, maybe a little hint of guilt. But once you stop, once you're like, okay, I'm done. And you get up and you walk away. There's a relief, right? And you knew. Today wasn't the day. Today was the day I needed to rest a little bit. Today was the day that, you know, I needed to make a decision that was going to support my better wellness, right? My overall wellness. And so for me, looking at this, I feel like you had been in a place that was like just maybe way out there. Maybe you were like losing touch with your daily life. Like you've been in your head, daydreaming, having visions, doing inner work, focused on your hobbies, focused on doing, you know, making money, getting the house in order, whatever it is, just hyper focused. Now, I feel like that spell has been broken. Okay? You are not focused on this anymore. You are starting to come down the mountain. And I feel like things are really coming together, because I think that you found yourself in that position wandering away from things because of what? Loneliness, I think. It feels like loneliness. Maybe loneliness in a relationship or within a friendship or in your home in general. But I think that for you, you're not often lonely. You're okay with being alone. I think it's when it's like somebody's walling you off on purpose. Not like they've gone no contact because you did something, that deserves to have that kind of, boundary and repercussion. I don't think so. I think that this is like somebody who uses the silent treatment or ignoring you as a weapon, right? This is like they're going to punish you because you didn't fall in line, or you're doing something that they don't like or they don't understand or whatever. And that's really difficult for a Virgo, to have somebody like that shuts off. Listen, I'm married to a Cancer, so, but yeah, it's hard because we just want to connect heart to heart. Right? When I have an argument or there's some kind of, misalignment, I want to get it fixed. I want to talk it out. I want us to go to bed, at least having heard one another. We don't have to understand or even accept, but to calmly state, how you feel. Why are you hurt? Why am I angry right now? Why did that not, that doesn't feel good? I want to talk about that. I know you do too, Virgo. So to be around or be with somebody who it's their instinct to close off or to even become malicious, that's really painful. It is very painful. And so I feel like for you, there has been a time where you had to get away from it, maybe just mentally, but maybe physically. Maybe there is a separation, or you went off, and did your own thing for a while or whatever. But I do see you coming down that mountain from the hermitage and rejoining the world. Now, again, let me emphasize, there feels like there's a lot of feminine energy. I just keep getting this visual of like walking down the mountain and coming into a group of women. And there seems to be this like, I see you. I notice you. Oh, your hair looks nice. Did you get it cut? I noticed that you've been working really hard at, whatever, your night creative class. I'm really proud of you for doing that. Somebody brings you something. Hey, I remember you were saying that you wanted to try this, and I had some at home, and I thought, well, maybe I should bring it. These are women. These are friends. These are the people that remember you. These are the people that show up for you. These are the people that ask you, how are you? And they don't keep talking. They stop, they look at you, and they wait because they're listening. And this is where you're going to find that lifeblood again. Through this deep bond with this whatever it is. I don't know if these are direct friends, or maybe you go into a new work environment, or you join a new club or a meetup, or, whatever it is. A new gym that has like classes just for well, again, maybe it's not just for women, but you find a group of people who have this feminine energy, right? This is where they are dwelling. Not so much in the maidenhood, but in the motherhood, the cronehood. Okay? So, and I say that just because, right? The maiden, young, lovely, coming into her own, but not often the best community because you're figuring things out, right? And you're still vying for position at that point. Now, as you get older and you've been through it, and maybe you've lost everything once or twice, you get to a place where it's just like, bro, I just need like a safe harbor. I just need a lady to sit next to that's not gonna act weird, right? I want to like chit chat about our kids and, what shows we're watching and, whatever. Sometimes we just need that kind of energy. Also, we need somebody who sees us when we're wounded. You might have a spouse that you love and they're wonderful and you're close. They might not see how hard you're struggling because they're in there with you. But then you have friends, right? Often mothers, grandmothers. You could just sit in your car for 5 minutes, getting yourself together, practicing what you're going to say to sound normal and not emotional, and you walk up to them. And as you're walking up, they can see. They see it. Something's wrong. And you are received with love, with care, with attention. And that is healing for us Virgos. There's nothing wrong with needing that. There's nothing wrong with asking for that, asking the universe for that. Now, people might think it's weak, especially if you've been raised as a man or masculine. It might be seen as annoying, tedious, nagging. Pay attention to me. I want. Let me stop and just say from the freaking, and I'm not going to cuss here, from the bottom of my soul, who cares? Listen to me, Virgo, who cares? They think you're needy? Good. You need things. We all freaking need things. They think that you're, not a pick-me. That's negative. That's a derogatory thing now. But yeah, you say what you need. You communicate your needs emotionally, physically, whatever. No, that's emotional intelligence. As long as you're not weaponizing it, right? You're not manipulating with it. Now, you will meet a lot of people in your life who don't know the difference between somebody asking for emotional support or telling somebody, listen, this is what I need from you. If you are willing to, do this with me, this is the kind of emotional whatever, attention or the kinds of questions that maybe, whatever. It's not, people might think it's manipulative, but it is not. A lot of people just they weren't raised to advocate for themselves. They weren't raised to ask for what they need because that was a problem. Because that was an inconvenience. Because crying, don't cry. You don't need to cry. Why? What are you crying about? Everything's okay. Why are you crying? These are the things that we've heard over and over and over and over. And then our relationships, we end up in relationships with people who are the same way. And then we make ourselves small. And then we quiet down. We don't want to share how we feel. Why? Why? I don't want to live like that. Do you? No. So you know what? We find our women in our life. I don't care if you don't have people. Go to a retirement home. Go to, a bingo hall. Go volunteer at the senior center. And these are the places that I'm talking about because these are people who want community. These are people who want to talk to people. They want somebody to listen to them. They want to listen to somebody. They want people in their lives. Now, I'm generalizing. Perfect place to go. Perfect place to go to be received well. You go hang out with a bunch of oldies playing cards or whatever. You think they're going to be rude to you? Probably not. You might be their favorite person. Instant friends. Life hack. Use it. But yeah, go and find your people who are going to embrace you. Because that's where it is. That's where I see this energy really flourishing. You are rising. You are rising. Okay? Now, let's go ahead. We're going to take a look over here. Oh, my palm is... I'm a little nervous. I'm going to try doing a full oracle card reading, which I've done like supplemental, kind of oracle cards or whatever. But I'm going to do an all signs one for the 9-9 gate, which is, or what is it called? The 9-9. Is it a gateway? I don't know. Coming up tomorrow, which 9 is, in this life cycle for me, a most holy number. It represents the beloved. And so the return of the beloved, we are on the eve of such, and I am excited. And what is the beloved for me? People might see my poetry and think, oh, this lady is just so in this place of romantic love constantly. It's not. All of my love poetry, and I'm sorry, babe, I love you. You are an aspect of the beloved, of course. But I'm saying this to my husband. All of the poetry is for the beloved. The interior beloved, right? The archetype of my animus. So that is, the masculine. And yeah, I write love poetry. Lots of it to them. And so anyways, 9-9. And also, look at this. It looks like it is a 9-9 right there. 9-9. So we do have a person kneeling right here. We also have what looks like a tadpole or... oh gosh, how do I say this on here? The male fluid? Oh, that sounds bad. I hate that I can't say things because of maybe the algorithm might not like it, but I don't know how to... Sperm. It's sperm. Okay, there we go. Sorry algorithm. I love you. So we have and this is in line with the fire, right? The creative energy. So we're also going to turn this way. So it is sowing seeds. And we have a person standing here. Look at sowing all the seeds. We also have birds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I do feel like you are starting in on some kind of, I don't know, project, work, side hustle, something. Maybe you're investing money. Maybe you're looking into a way to, invest some of your savings, or who has savings anymore. I don't know if that's even a thing. But, that kind of stuff. So I do feel like at this last bit, there is a real focus on the financial for you. And I think that you are going to be really focused on building your reserves. Okay, so yeah, trying to find a way to put some money aside, put it into, some kind of investment portfolio or savings, or some kind of, I don't know, maxing out your 401k, something, right? So I feel like and this is such a Virgo thing. We're not looking to like win the lottery. I mean, that would be cool, I guess. But gradual, sustained growth, right? Like I don't gamble, and I have a little bit of money in stocks or whatever, but only because I was like, I had a kind of fleeting fixation, right? I, as a Virgo, and I feel like if you know anything about like, investing money and stuff, which I don't know that much about, I don't really only invest in commodities because they stay sustained, and there's like little growth over time. But commodities are things like, natural resources and stuff, things that they make things out of. And I don't necessarily know how I feel about that on an ethical level, but yeah, I guess that's the Virgo in me. That's where I'm always like, I'm putting money here, steal or whatever. So anyways, I do see that as being a part of this next, I'm going to knock this light right over. Don't fall, babes. There we go. What are you just not? I know, I talk to things. I'm an animist, okay? I'm sorry. Everything I talk to as though it were a conscious being, because it is. Okay, here we go. 55. 55 as our first lucky number. 12. Okay, 5, 5, 12, and 48. Perfect. 48. And then we're going to finish with our Wild Offering Oracle cards. And I'm just going to go ahead and flip through, stop where it feels right. We'll flip this over. It says forgiveness. Healing comes from acceptance. Help me, dear Lord, to fully accept what is, knowing that this alone will open me to the new. Yeah, I like it. I'm ready for some new. I'm ready to get rid of that old stuff. I've been meditating on the Castaneda kind of tenet, I guess, of kind of abandoning your self-histories. So, and I think of it kind of in a Taoist way as well, that you do the work, right? You do the work, and then you set the work down, and you walk away from it. You let it go. You forget about the work. You master something, and then you don't do it. You let it go. You throw it out. Time to do the next thing. So I'm trying to think of it in this way, letting go of the stories I tell myself about my life, right? Now, they're important because they are part of the composite being that I am, but I don't have to dwell in them. Not all the time. And I feel like for me anyways, this next cycle of time is about forgiveness, but also letting go of some of the stuff, intentionally letting it go, forgetting about it, not thinking about it anymore. When I get to those doorways and I look in and I see, okay, here's where, my childhood medical neglect lies. This is where I have a lot of pain, or this is, I didn't know when we were going to eat next, or, what kind of monster somebody in the household might be that day, and learning to get to that doorway, look in and say, I'm good. We've been in here. I've been in here a lot. I don't think I need to go in there today or anymore at all, right? And so I'm practicing something. I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you more about it once I've done it for a while, see if it works. I don't know. But I'm all about the experimenting. So we'll see. Yeah, I guess that's it. I just want to tell you again, I love you. Take care of yourself, Virgo. Happy birthday. And if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, again, I'll say good night, good night, good night. I love you. Bye-bye.